I just moved to Glasgow, and I was kind of exploring the city, and all over the city there was a piece of graffiti, just 3 simple words: "Somebody loves you."
This is the Radio X Evening Show. It is Wednesday night. It's George here with you until 10. And tonight I've got Jack from the Snuts with us. How you doing?
Yo, how's it going, man?
It's really good. Thanks so much for coming on the show. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
So it's fair to say 2021, this has been the year for you guys. You've got a #1 album, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But I mean, I'm going to go a little bit Statman on you for a second because it's no mean feat. You've got a #1 album on your debut. It's the biggest debut from a British band in 5 years. And am I right in saying that you're the first Scottish band in 14 years to go #1 with your debut album selling over 20,000 copies? Mate, how does that feel?
That's the one. Keep those stats coming. Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's it's something we set out to do as a guitar band. There's certainly kind of barricades in your way for British bands, and it was something we wanted to make sure that we were kind of able to jump over. So we're kind of really happy the way it worked out. The support we've had on this record is something that's just blew us away.
I mean, you mentioned the support there. I saw quite a lot of tweets coming out from fans of the band. Everyone from Lewis Capaldi through to Tennant's Lager, man, getting behind the boys.
That's it. We seem to stick together.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a kind of X Factor final battle, with the Scottish person who shouldn't have won it. So it was quite nice.
I mean, it's so great. It's one of those stories that you love to see. Like I've you guys have been on my radar for a good few years now. I've seen you live a few times in the past, and seeing, when it does come to that point in your career when it's album time, and you are usually going to be in a chart race if you're going to get that high with some massive artists like Demi Lovato in this case. How did it feel when you first heard that news, when it came through that you'd got the #1?
Oh, well, we're blown away. We were sure that we were beaten. We'd set out. It was always our intention, to get a #1 record. It's something we've always dreamed of as kids. We took our time with this record. And, right in the middle of a pandemic, it felt like a tall order. So when we got the news, I was already kind of giving up on it. I thought we were beaten. So it was just nice, having that surprise.
I guess as well, you're going to have these delayed celebrations because, we're still waiting to fully get out there in the pubs and everything.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think that's been another struggle, for guitar bands all across the country is, being able to promote what they do, because, the live sector of guitar music is, it's out in front of the rest of the industry, in my opinion. People love going to live gigs. It's such a part of the culture, and it's such a part of the experience for us. So putting the record out without that, is something that was disappointing. But just the thought of doing it when it all opens back up, it's going to come back with a bang.
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned the live shows. We are going to come back and talk about them in a bit, but I want to talk a little bit about Record of the Week because it is Somebody Loves You. Mate, it's an absolute banger. It's one of my favourites on the album. If there is a story behind it, what is it?
It's quite a funny one. We wrote it at the very start of lockdown. I just moved to Glasgow. And I was kind of exploring the city, and all over the city there was a piece of graffiti, just 3 simple words: "Somebody loves you." It was something, it really struck a chord with me. It's such a powerful kind of universal message. So from there, it just kind of turned into the song really kind of quickly. I think just, everybody was kind of feeling the same kind of anxieties about what was going on in the world. So it felt, it was a song for us that kind of expanded into a much bigger project, something, a way of us connecting with fans and just connecting with the people we care about with that song. So yeah, it's deep.
So that was the Snuts, Somebody Loves You. It's our record of the week. This is the Radio X Evening Show, me, George Godfrey. And yes, we've got Jack from the Snuts on the show. How's it going, man?
Yo, all good, man.
So that was, of course, as we mentioned, from your #1 album. And how are you feeling, mate, about the rest of the year going forward? Because we kind of touched on live shows there. I bet you must just be itching to play these, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things, I don't think anyone who plays live music or loves live music has kind of allowed their heads to go down throughout this year. It feels like, we're just kind of constantly looking at the future positively, thinking about, being back to these shows. I think shows, live gigs, are just so important for people. It's a time for them to kind of celebrate with the people they care about, and I think there's a way that people connect with guitar bands, especially live, that's, it's second to none. So just really looking forward to getting back to that.
Absolutely. And there is going to be a UK and Ireland tour happening in September this year. I mean, these are going to be some of the biggest shows, if not the biggest ones that you've played. I remember the first time I saw you guys, and it was The Great Escape a couple of years ago, and I thought, it's these four rowdy lads from Scotland. The bookie was getting passed around. It was a sick show. It was one of those ones. I think it was in a church, and it was it was like early afternoon, but it was, the vibes were definitely set. And how was it? I just wanted to guess, like, how does it feel when you know that you're gonna step out onto the biggest stage yet? Do you get nervous in any way?
Yeah, I'm terrible. Like, every show that I play, I'm terrified before we go on. So I think, just having this year off, it's got to be 10 times worse. But I think, with the shows that we're playing, a lot of them are really special venues to us, and venues that, that are iconic, and we're just looking forward to kind of sharing with people. I feel like, we've put the work in this year. And with the debut record, these venues were designed for songs like this, in my opinion. And we wanted everybody to know them when it came. So, so still feeling really good about it.
Radio X.